OSIM.
Kerja keras tanpa libur demi dapat uang lembur. Banyak dikit tetap nabung, bunga tinggi cairan gratis biaya antar bank pakai neobank. Buat semua, mau ini mau itu semuanya jadi satu pakai neobank. Buat semua.
New skin ready.
Warga plus 62 emang banyak maunya. Dari drakoran sampai banjir air mata. Nonton action yang mantul. Sampai nonton tendangan cantik. Maksudnya ini. Mau nonton apapun, semua ada di video. Mulai dari yang bikin berbunga-bunga, keringet dingin, ketawa, sampai bikin gak ngedip. Jadi nonton apa sekarang?
Ada apa-apa ya? Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to Sea Talks and UniPin Southeast Asia Cyber Arena 2022, also known as SEACA, is the largest esports tournament in Southeast Asia, and it is initiated by UniPin, of course, in 2018. So this year's SEACA will bring an exciting series of events starting from the 15th until the 29th November 2022. And also the pre-registration is already open, so make sure that you guys already registered at www.unipin.com/SEACA. So UniPin SEACA Major 2022 is brought to you thanks to the support from our sponsors. The first one is Awesome, Inspired Wellbeing. And then we also have Monitor Gaming Samsung Odyssey and official streaming partner Video. And also the assistance from the artist Ali and also the media partners. Moreover, for you guys who's watching SEACA talk show, tonight we have a great offer. So you can get 70 gigs internet quota bonus from Axis by purchasing UniPin voucher. So if you buy UniPin voucher, and then you can get the opportunity to get the 17 gigabytes of Axis quota. So it's very easy. Just click the link below. And for today's session, we are going to have 3 amazing speakers. So I'm going to introduce to you one by one. The first one is Azwin Nugraha, or the Indonesian community known him as Moonton. So he is a public relations and also communication manager for Moonton Indonesia. And who doesn't know MPL, right? So he's also one of the key person behind MPL Indonesia. And then the second one, we have Kenneth How do I spell your name? Mogueis? Is that right? Okay, so Kenneth Mogueis. So he's a strategic partnership manager for Southeast Asia Community Gaming. Hi, Kenneth. How are you? So Kenneth is from the Philippines. And then for the last one, I think you guys also known him. So it's Darius Drew. So Darius Drew is a CEO of Elite Cosplay Club. So it's one of the biggest cosplay community in Indonesia right now. So today's topic is very interesting because we're going to talk about the community from different angles. So without further ado, I'm going to give the first question. I will ask Mr. Azwin, or I just call him Azwin. Azwin, okay. Okay, hi. Okay, so we all agreed that community plays a huge part for a gaming ecosystem, right? So in your perspective, how important is community for your game, for you personally? And what is actually community?
I think, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think how important is it, the community is that I think the community will always be a fundamental part of not just gaming industry I'm talking about. It's for every industry. You say tech, you say entertainment, and then you say financial, and eventually you say gaming. You know, community is the fundamental part of all of these industries. And then, yeah, we're all niche. Community is very niche, but legit. I told you, it's very legit. I think that's what makes community is very important to the industry, not just gaming.
Okay, so do you believe that community is very important to for a game to be successful? Because as we can see that we know that Mobile Legends and also MPL is the most popular tournament and also most popular games in Indonesia, right? Yeah, and then what makes the community in MPL Mobile Legends is super solid? What do you think?
I think what makes the community super solid, I think we can go back further before the community haven't access yet. So maybe like there's some methods that we brew, the strategy that we brew, like in building this community. I think that would be the foundation, like how you build this community first, and then what is the platform, how do you choose the platform. I think that would be the fundamental thing.
Okay, interesting. So I also have Kenneth here. So Kenneth is from community gaming, right? So hi Kenneth. So I'm going to ask you a question, Kenneth, like what do you think about what Azwin said about the community? What is your perspective about that?
Hello. Yeah, can you hear me, guys? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, adding to what Azwin said about the community. Basically, let's go to the literal term. Like, community is a collective of people who have the share of the same interests. In this case, gaming. I mean, not particularly only like in one kind of gaming, but there's a lot of branches in gaming, to be honest. But the main thing here is sharing the same interests, and of course, keeping the community alive by, of course, giving them like, we don't forget about them. Of course, in terms of like competitiveness, in terms of like the game, for example, Mobile Legends, we give them like rewards, or basically we don't really forget about them. This comes in a different perspective. Like, even though we come from like a very competitive community, like a gaming community, or in this case for two, it's a cosplay community, as long as we already share the same, again, the same interest, the same passion.
Okay. So, what do you think, Drew, about the community? Because every community is unique, right? And cosplay community is also very unique because they have they share the same hobby, right? So, yeah, what do you think about the community and how crucial it is for you?
Yeah. So for me, the community is very very important because Elite Cosplay Club is also part of the community in cosplay. The difference maybe is some of the community represent themselves as their hobbies, but for us, for Elite Cosplay Club, we are representing as the part of the business industry. That's why the community itself is very important to us because they are our market, one of our market. Like when we help to make some cosplay competition, or maybe we are trying to gather some amount of the cosplayer, maybe to help in the marketing campaign of some product. Let's say like Moonton. Moonton is one of our clients as well. Mr. Azwin. Yeah. That's why the community itself is very important to us, especially all of those cosplayers. We want them to grow, not to put them as just we are here for the cosplay hobbies, but we are here to make a career. That's why the community, we try to put them on some of level, some standard. Hopefully, they can grow not only for delivering their hobbies, but they can get some income from it.
Okay, interesting. So we got 3 different angles about the community, but everyone are agreed that community is very crucial and very important for either it's the game, either it's cosplay or whatever it is, right? Because community is where all the people gather and support the brand, the company, or whatever it is. Okay, so I'm going to ask Azwin, what is the most challenging part in building the community and how to make them loyal? Because when we're talking about community, it's about how they have spatial feelings regarding the company or the brand, right? Or even the games. Like they need to feel that they are part of them or related to them. Like how do you start to create those kind of feelings, and what is the challenging? What are the obstacles?
I think the most challenging part in growing the community would be to know what are their wants. Would be because we came from like different backgrounds, but we share some interests, right? But we have different agenda, we have different needs. I think how to profile them and then to fulfill their needs, it's the most challenging part for me. And then the second part is about how to make them loyal. I think how to make them loyal is the part of we are ensuring that we are giving people a reason to stay, right? So from my point of view, that the gaming industry has it easy when it comes to the type of content that you can create for your own communities. And this is something that is worth spending time on, of course. But however, again, you need to ask yourself again. So back to community again, like what does your community have to offer them? And then like, are you sharing content on social media, on Facebook that people want to read? And then are you creating like a beautiful post on Instagram, or just like hygiene, but do they really care about it? Do they really need to see it? Something like that. Are you providing even regular updates on Twitter or something like that? To give people a reason to stay for it.
Okay, so you're saying that we need to follow what community wants, right? Do we really need to follow everything, or do we need to educate them in order for them to follow what we want?
Yeah, of course, not every. We're not the. How do you say it? We're not the. The source of satisfaction, because everyone. Because I've learned that every person has their own agenda, and then there's certain agenda that has a negative impacts. So in a way that we need to educate them. Yes, this is really one element. I think one important element that we should put when we profiling our community. Agree with Debbie. I think first one for me.
Okay, so educate the community is also very important, right? I think Azwin did a really great job in doing that, because you always do positive things and show the community that, for example, the recent one that you did, right? Moonton Cares. That's Moonton Cares is also one of the example of showing the community that we need to give back to the society, right? Yeah, so I think educating the community is also very important. So what about you, Kenneth? Because you're trying to grow the esports community in Southeast Asia, right? And every country is actually different. You cannot really do the same strategy for every country, because every country has their uniqueness. So what do you think is the most challenging part, and which country is actually the most challenging when it comes to building a community, and why?
Personally for me, again, the challenge, I mean, Azwin already provided some of the answers. We profile them depending on what part of the community they are. Are they casual gamer, professional players, cosplayers? We could call it cosplayers for true. Also, they play, for example, they play Mobile Legends. If they want to cosplay, there's entirely different community for them. But for me, for struggle is yes, especially on, for example, what game do we need to do we try to introduce to the market? But to answer the question of what country would be the hardest for me, it's actually Thailand, because of course it's kind of hard on what genre is the best for them, what's the current trend, because there's a lot of trend currently. Of course, Mobile Legends is on top of the chain over there. I know. Even in the Philippines, Mobile Legends is also big here. But the main struggle for me is really Thailand, because they have a really diverse type of when it comes to competitiveness. Yes, Mobile Legends is up there, but what's next? PC games. What do we have? Shooter games, card games. I mean, we cannot really identify yet, because they're really diverse. On how I can identify them. Of course, if I say Mobile Legends in Thailand, they would know immediately. But what's next? What's next that we need to market? What's next we need to expand on? Because here, of course, us in community gaming, we don't really stick into one place. We go to other countries as well. For example, right now, Philippines, Indonesia is the biggest market so far for community gaming, and of course, not to brag, Mobile Legends is our biggest game in the of the two countries I mentioned. But of course, expanding to other regions, other countries, of course, we need to check. We need to profile them. Is this country a mobile game country, a PC game country, or what technically do they do in gaming? Do they want professional? Do they want casual? Or just chilling around the corner, just playing games whenever they have free time? And sometimes, I have cosplayer friends, Drew, I'm sorry, but yeah, they want to cosplay the characters. But yeah, that's for me.
Okay, so it is very important, interesting that you mentioned about profiling, because I do believe that profiling is also one of the most important steps in order to building the community, because we want to know like who's the profile of our community, right? Like whether we want to target for students or maybe someone who's actually working. So the contents that we actually created is also depends on the profile that we want to aim, right? Okay, so goes to Drew. Hi, Drew. Okay, cosplay community is always very interesting because there are actually like lots of communities that is very very extreme. I can say that because right.
I know where this is going. Okay.
No, but it's also interesting. I mean, like being extreme is nothing wrong about that, right?
Yeah, indeed.
They're very loyal, right? They're very very loyal.
They're very passionate, actually.
I'm very passionate about what they're doing, right?
True.
Okay, so for you personally, like when you're building the community, what is the most challenging part, and what do you do in order to keep the community on track? You know, like not doing something too extreme, maybe.
yeah. So well, we know most of them are inspired by the character that they are doing in their anime or maybe in their movie. That's why they want to try or to do it. But for us, what we share to the community is the first thing is to respect the character itself. First thing first is we need to understand that the character, we must try our best to represent the character in the society. When we go to the public space, when we go to the convention, we need to try our best to show or represent the character. We try to respect the character, but we need to be able to differentiate. Is this something against the the term or not? If it goes too far, we better not to do it on a public space. It will be different if they are doing it in the community event only, like a very very inner circle, like in a very private event. That would be very very different. But if you want to do it in a public space, like maybe in a mall event or maybe in a public convention, we try our best not to do that. Like we still respect the other as well. We don't want to show them that cosplay is a weird thing. Cosplay is like a freak thing. No. We won't try to deliver that we are doing our hobbies for positive things, not for the negative things that they might have thought. Like we know some of the we call it laymen. Some of the laymen think about us is what we are doing is quite weird. What we are doing is a funny thing. It's a goofy thing. Because it backs to the community itself. Most of them doesn't realize and doesn't understand about the character. They just want to get the hype. They just want to show that I have a very good costume, or maybe I just want to be famous with using cosplay. But that's never been the point of cosplay. Cosplay is costume and play. We are doing the costume. We are wearing the costume as exact as the character, and also we're doing the play to represent the character itself. So everybody when see us, they can able to feel like let's say a Power Ranger, yeah. When we are using a Power Ranger costume, all the audience can see, it feels like I'm meeting a real Power Ranger. That's always the goal.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's very interesting. But what is the most challenging part that you have ever faced during your time doing the whole community?
Yeah,
What is the most challenging?
the most challenging part is like the level of the education of the people is quite different. Yeah, that's why sometimes when we are trying to educate them that we try to respect the character, we try to keep the character. Sometimes they will get back to us with, okay, this is for the example, yeah, like one of the national TV requesting a cosplayer to come and then dance. But the characters, it's supposed to be not to doing the dance. Like they use dangdut music, and then they ask the cosplayer to do the dance in front of a lot of audience for the national TV. Usually we don't do that. Like, how can you see a Darth Vader? Let's say a Darth Vader. I believe you guys know Darth Vader, right? Darth Vader doing a dangdut dance. Okay, it doesn't make sense at all for us. We try to educate them not to do that, but they will get back to us just because, yeah, we want to show cosplay to the national TV. We need money, and that's not the point. And I think that's the quite hardest part to able to educate all the community about respecting the character, about being stay in the character, and to represent the cosplay in the right way.
Oh wow, that's very interesting. So the cosplayer are supposed to respect the character, meaning that once they put on the costumes, meaning that they need to act and behave as the character, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Next question back to Azwin. Okay, so I think I only have like 10 more minutes with you, right? Okay, I got a question for you. So when you're talking about the community, of course there will be some people who's actually good, educated, and very supportive, right? But at the other side of the coin, of course, we got a community that is quite hostile and, you know, like having their own thoughts and, you know, like I don't want to say that they're doing bad things, but you know, like, you know what I mean, right? I mean, like sometimes they could be like very, very hostile, and
there's always
yes. How do you overcome that? Like, how do you educate them in order for them to not being too hostile, especially if we are talking about esports, right? Esports is like team A, team B, and then they're fighting. They team A win, team B win, and then how are you going to let them know that this is just a competition? Like, don't make it personal. Like what is the step that you need to do?
I think the first one is that we must not being tired of educating this another side of the community, right? And then I would like to give my strategy to do this. You know what? I have this kind of weakness when it comes to like a discussion. I would be like more honest to people. So my strategy to this would be, so when your game is getting bigger, for me, I will use other people PR as the amplification of what I will implement to, or what key message that I will distribute to all of the my stakeholders. So I'm using other people PR. So I think I've mentioned earlier about the player itself, how I use the player itself. So after your game is getting bigger, I think it's time to expand your community by using the player friends. And then so both the game, the players, and then the community together being integrated and keep the conversation going. What conversation that going in the community is the one that control this conversation is you, the main stakeholders, the one that created the community. So you can easily squeeze in any messages, any positive messages through them, and then you're using all the influence that your players have. Something like that, I think, David.
Okay, so that's actually a very, very good secret to spill, and I think everyone needs to try doing that, right? Because I feel that if we are starting to get tired to educate the community, then we are just gonna be stuck with what is happening in the community, right? But we want our game or company or whatever we have to have a positive community, because I do believe that like for example, if you keep giving them the positive contents, I believe that they will look at it and they will also influenced by it, right? But if you give like a negative content every day, of course they will follow the negative content. So I think it is very important for us to collaborate with all the ecosystem. That's what you do, right, Azwin? So you don't only do it in one angle, but also you do it like in other angles as well, right?
Correct. So for me, the important part is that how do you promote this positive key message that you want to distribute to all of your stakeholders? How do you promote it? By using what you promoted, by using strong social media platform. But who has the most strongest social media platform? Who is the most influence in your community? That's the amplification panels that you're looking for.
Okay. Thank you so much. By the way, I think we should take picture before you leave, right? Okay, so everyone, because Azwin needs to have another meeting, so he needs to leave. So let's take picture first, and then we will continue with Drew and also Kenneth. Okay, let's all take picture together. Okay, done? I think they got it. Okay, then I think you can leave now, because I don't want to, keep you here because you have other things to do. But thank you so much, Azwin, for
thank you,
coming
Debbie,
and
thank you,
lots
Kenneth,
of tips.
and
Darius.
Thank you to UniPin, SEACA, and to all of the
It's a
stakeholders
pleasure for
supporters.
us. Yes, bye.
Bye.
Okay, so everyone, Azwin is already leaving the session, but of course we still have Kenneth here and also Drew. Okay, stick to my question, the previous question that I asked Azwin. Now I'm going to ask Kenneth. Because again, it is very challenging for you to manage the community in Southeast Asia, right? And as you mentioned before, that the community that you manage is not only based on one game, but you have lots of different games, and you also need to identify in every country which game is the most popular, right? So what do you do in order to keep your community positive?
From our side, since we are a tournament platform, esports platform, most of them that is in our community, it wants competition. So right now, what we are doing is we're currently running series of tournaments, weekly, monthly tournaments. So they can of course, they can still feel engaged in terms of the competition. Like for example, like MLBB, like other games like Valorant, Tekken, just to name a few. But it really, actually, again, it really depends on the game. But of course, we want to check if what game is the best to focus on, especially for each country. Because again, for example, like Indonesia, Moderator is one of the is actually the top mobile game right now in Indonesia. Same goes as Philippines. But of course, I don't want to leave the other game communities behind because of the for example, like we only cater to Mobile Legends community. So of course we're trying to divide it. We're trying to what you call it? We're trying to give attention, of course, to other communities. Of course, not all of them are like super like professional ones. Some of them just wants to try to have a professional experience, an amateur experience, to have to gain profit, to earn by just joining tournaments. Probably for me, that's one of the best things that I can think of is really on how you manage the community based on again the game that they're in, depending on the country. I mean, right now, of course, Southeast Asia is really diverse country. There's a lot to discuss about gaming itself. Of course, in terms of gaming, there's a mix of mobile games, mix of PC games. There's a mix of console games. So, I mean, trying to focus on each community, I know is a struggle, but overall, if we manage to manage to sustain or manage to have it under control, it would be easier. But of course, not all the time it's easy because there's a lot to consider. There's a lot to think about, like this tournament, like prize pool, how many are joining? Are we going to open it for all Southeast Asia or country lang? There's a lot to consider, honestly. But yeah, just that's for me on how we usually control or we manage the community. I mean, we're not only like open to like traditional esports. Of course, right now, we're kind of expanding into the metaverse of Web3, but we're still sticking on the spirit of competition in esports.
Okay, so that's actually very challenging, right? To keep the community to always be positive because everyone wants a positive community because that's also gonna affect the brand who wants to tap into the community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
That's correct.
So, Drew, from your point of view, well, we already talked about that some of the cosplayers community can be very extreme at some point, but there are actually lots of cosplayer who's also very positive, right? And then, yeah, and then what do you think is the best thing to do in order to keep the cosplayer community to be solid? Because what I heard, I'm never be in the cosplay community, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but I only heard from people, you know, who's like talking about, they said that there are lots of drama in the cosplayer community. How do you react to that?
All right, there's a lot of drama, and some of the drama, I think it's quite a funny drama. Well, we don't consider it as drama actually, but they or some of them thought it is drama. So yeah, we cannot control all of the people, right? But for us, what we do, we have two terms actually, like for the outside members and the inward members. Like for our members, what we're trying to share is go gain a lot of achievement as a positive achievement. Like for example, one of our co-founder as well, like Zainaru. Naru is show them how to, yeah. Let's put your effort and let's put your energy on focusing to create some costume, or maybe to do some performance, or to achieve awards in winning a competition. Like go outside, not only for focusing on the national competition, but go to the international one. That's what we are trying to put in our members. But for the outside members, like what we're trying to do is to educate them through the competition that we make. So the rules of the competition, we make it as tight as we can. We teach them that for the point in the competition, they're not only for the costume, but for the performance and also the creativity as well, and also the characters that they able to present. It will be the point that you guys can win if you guys able to show the character, the good character, and also show the best performance that you have. And also we try to make the event it's a good event, it's a positive event. Not we know some of the event organizers terms to be as long as we hire a sexy cosplayer and gain some attention and gain some crowd, that will be a great event. No, for us, we don't do that. Like, being sexy is good. Being sexy is never go wrong. I mean, like, if you go sexy according to the character, it's good. But when you are sexualize the character, I don't think we have the same way on that. That's why we don't hire.
Drew,
Yeah.
what do you mean by sexualize the character? Can
Yeah.
you
Okay.
explain more about that?
Okay, for example, what anime have you watched, Deborah?
Okay, lots of anime.
Lots of
Okay.
anime.
Let's say Attack on Titan. There's no
Attack
sexy
on
character
Titan.
there, right? Okay.
Yeah, Mikasa. You know Mikasa, right?
Yeah, of course I know her.
Yeah. She's not doing any sexy thing in the movie, right? Like Attack on Titan, they're usually using the weapon and also the armor things and doing the battle. But we can see there's some people who use Mikasa. She said that she's cosplaying Mikasa, but doesn't wear anything. I mean, like, she's only wearing a very, very thin clothes, or maybe just using sleeves and then cover some of her parts of the body. I don't think Mikasa do that. Like, she's trying to sexualize the character, and that's not what we believe cosplay is. That's why we want to try to educate that cosplay is not a negative thing like that. Like, if you want to go sexy, like, just choose the character that already sexy. If you say this is an art, sexy is an art, so we want to show the sexiness, yeah, why don't you guys choose the character that's already sexy? Not doing Mikasa and then you sexualize them. That's what we try to always share to our community, and also that's what we try to hold, like, some guesses or maybe some judges in our event that doesn't have the same way in understanding the cosplay with us. We usually don't use them.
Okay, so I totally understand. So let's see, for example, Boa Hancock, right? She's sexy, right? I mean, like, she's show cleavage and then she dress up sexy. So if the cosplayer wants to cosplay as her and just being sexy, so that's how it's supposed to be, right? Because
you
the
can choose
cosplayer is trying to portray the character.
The design of the character itself is already sexy. That's why you can choose them to use, and you can act like her. That will be great. That will be very, very great. But if you, let's say, if you just like Spy Family,
Anya.
you see Anya, and then you try to sexualize Anya. How can you have such a creative idea to sexualize Anya? Like, okay, Anya is still a little girl, and then you try to That's why we cannot accept that kind of creativity. That's why I think okay, you guys might not have the same perspective of us towards the cosplay. That's why let's not work together.
Okay. So you also need to put set of rules in order to put them on check, right? So,
sure.
like, for example, when you do the cosplay competition, then you will have certain rules that they need to follow, including that for them to stick into the character and not sexualize them.
Yeah, for the competition, we cannot control all the attendance, because they want to compete in the competition, but they won't be able to win because we have the points that you need to be stick in the character. Sexualizing the character, it's of course out of the character, right? That's why you will get a low score. But for the judges or for the guest star that we are trying to invite, we will have several standards, like, because they will be representing our event. All the audience, like, if we are doing a cosplay competition in a mall, and we try to invite the guest star and also the judges. They will be the face of the event, right? Like everybody will show, oh, this is the judge and this is the guest star, and they're doing this. Oh, and then some of parents will thought that, oh, I don't think my son or my daughter will doing cosplay if the cosplay is like this. We don't want to do that. We want to show the parents that doing cosplay is a positive thing. It's a good career. You can have an achievement. You can have a proud on yourself, and of course you will able to earn some money on it. So it's not all about the sexualized things, and it's not all about the negative things. So yeah, you can assure that cosplay is a safe community for you guys.
Okay, I really hope that everyone will understand about that and follow the rules, right? Because it is very important to be positive when you are in the cosplay community. Because I noticed that there are lots of minor as well in the cosplay community.
Yeah.
Right.
Recently, after the pandemic, we saw a lot of minors actually, like 13, 11, 14, 17. Most of them are quite minor.
Yeah, so that's why like we need to behave and act like a civilized person.
True.
Right?
True.
Okay, so but your point about competition is very important. It's very interesting actually. So I have a question for Kenneth. So Kenneth, what do you think, like how important an esports tournament for a community?
Of course, for esports tournaments in the community, there's still factors, but this will determine, of course, that the competition is still alive in that particular game or that particular community. I mean, regardless what game is it like a high tier competition? Is it like a community level? Is it like an amateur level? As long as there's really competition free flowing all over the place, they would feel like, oh, this, for example, for us, for community gaming, always like runs tournaments. So we have like a place to learn, to join, to adapt whatever we learned on like the tournaments, like our coachings. And of course, eventually that will turn out to be like a good placements in the tournaments. They will have their own like earnings. Of course, not every tournament you will win. Not every path you will already take home the prize. So everything is a learning regardless. So if you lose in a tournament, of course you need to reflect back. You need to step back. You need to reflect. You need to ask your team, ask yourself. You need to analyze, and of course, if there's a next tournament, to make sure that that mistake will not happen, or if that ever happened, how to lessen it. So for us here, our community is one of the best assets in terms of the competition, because of course we need the community. We need the community so we can run the community tournaments. And of course, the community wants competition, so we give them community tournaments. So we just give back what they want, like in the spirit of competition, and we're just obliged. Like for example, like if there's anything that they suggested, like, hey, can you run this game twice a month? Can you run this game once a month, broadcasted? So there's casters, the hype is better. We consider that kind of suggestions. Again, suggestion is open for our side. Any feedbacks? Anything that will help us improve the our services to the community, like for tournaments, not really only for tournaments, but on general gaming rather, and cosplay. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so yeah, I think cosplay is a very fun element when it comes to building a gaming community, because I think most of the gamers love cosplayers, right? I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah, they cross paths, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because
Spots.
yeah, indeed. Because we know that a lot of esports convention right now is also having a cosplay competition, and also some of the games industries inviting those cosplayers to come to maybe help them on the booth or maybe to doing their campaign activation. That's why the esports scenes might need the cosplay, as well as the cosplayer need the esports industry to help the event as well. Yeah, it's a mutual, I think.
Okay. Yeah. I do believe that all gamers actually love cosplayers. That's why in every games, like gaming character is actually one of the top option for a cosplayer to cosplay, right? So I think that's why the relationship between gaming and cosplay is also very, 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 very strong. Okay, so for both of you, like when we are talking about community, of course we want the community to be able to make the brands to sponsor us, right? Because right now, whenever brands trying to get into us, they will ask like, how big is your community? So yeah, so what do you think is the best way to approach a brand when you already have a solid community? Maybe who wants to answer first?
Yeah, I can go
Kenneth?
first.
Yeah,
Since I usually approach the brands, so yeah, most of them are really asking like how many following does your page have? Do you have like a solid community on this game, or this game? Of course, the brands will just vary whatever the game that they are interested in, especially for example, phone brands. So phone brands, what are the games that they're interested in? Of course, mobile games. They will not really invest on PC games. I mean, that would be redundant. So, of course, the reach of the community is big, especially one of the best marketing factors right now in the entire world is word of mouth. So word of mouth is really a big thing. Like, for example, like, hey, this brand is really good. It's really good. They're sponsoring this tournament. So of course, the word will spread. Like, hey, let's join the tournament. Let's join this tournament. Hey, let's join this tournament. It's a big tournament. So with that kind of engagement, that will lead brands to invest more or to engage more to the gaming community. Because again, gaming community is broad. Gaming community is a different have a different branches. Like sometimes they want professionally, sometimes again casual, sometimes they just want to experience, sometimes they just want the game itself. But of course, giving that thought to the brand, like, hey brand, this is the types of community that we have. What are you planning to aim? What are you planning to target as a market? If you want a gaming community in general, we can provide it. If you want like esports players, like professional level, like for example peripherals, like headsets or whatever, we can market that. Plus, of course, we can market it to the general public of the gaming community because, of course, they might be interested in the products that they sell. I mean, it's really diverse, but yeah, I mean, it really depends on what the brands need. Most of them are really just asking what are the numbers. Of course, we will give them the numbers, but a brand that's really asking for a specific number, I mean, that will give us an edge because we already sorted out the communities based on what they are in the community, if they're professional, if they're casual, or just hanging around, you know.
Okay, so yeah, I think what time is it now? Yeah, it's already 1 hour.
Oh.
Do you guys still have more time, or do you guys need to go somewhere?
I still have time.
Okay, so let's see if we got some question from the YouTube. Is there any question? Is there any question from the YouTube? Because actually, like, you know that I'm not sure what is the main language in Philippines for the community, Kenneth?
Honestly, they can speak Tagalog or English. Most of them
mostly?
English.
Oh,
Yeah,
most of them they
can
understand
understand
English.
They can
Yeah.
understand English.
For Indonesia, I think it's Indonesian, right? I think most of the people who's watching this, maybe they don't really understand, right?
Maybe they nggak bisa bahasa Inggris.
Don't worry, I'm trying to learn bahasa little by little.
Okay, so say something in Bahasa to our Indonesian community.
What time is it? I forgot the good evening in Indonesian, but terima kasih. That's what I know. But I'm
Terima
learning
kasih.
little by little. I have
Okay.
Indonesian friends. Like they
Okay.
teach me, but they teach me most bad stuff, but I don't want that. I just want words that I might use in the future whenever I drop to Jakarta and like basic directions. They just not giving that to me. I just know like salamat sore, something like that.
Okay, selamat sore is good afternoon.
Yeah, very evening.
Yeah, good afternoon. Okay, so maybe while we're waiting for the question from the viewers, so I have another question. This question is actually very important, and it's also a tips because right now every company, every brand, whatever it is, they need to have a community. Even UniPin, like I think Drew knows that UniPin has been in Indonesia since 11 years ago, right? But the community itself has only been developed like 2 years ago, I think. Once I joined, right?
Indeed.
because the brand understand that community plays a big part in order for brand to grow and also to introduce whatever it is, especially if they have new products, if they have promotion, whatever it is to the community. So that's why it is very important. So in your perspective and in your own experience, how to grow the sense of belonging towards the community and how to make them do the things for the community itself without you telling them to do, like creating some sort of initiatives. Like for example, okay, you're trying to build a positive cosplay community, you created a tournament, whatever, and then you make your own community to create another competition without even you telling them to do. How to do that?
Well, okay. Actually, it's quite we haven't done any cosplay competition and asked them to do another cosplay competition. But usually, they are doing based on benefit they get. So if we can give them a benefit, they will do it directly without even we are asking. Like for example, usually what we go to the brand, we come to the brand and tell them that the cosplay community needs the cosplay competition, like a special cosplay competition. If you want, for example, if you want your game to be famous in the cosplay community, why don't you guys make an activation that needs the cosplayer, like making a campaign or maybe making a cosplay competition, but only for your games. That's why all of the cosplayer feel appreciated. When they feel appreciated, they will try their best to appreciate back to the brand. Like for example, Mobile Legends. Like we know Mobile Legends doing a cosplay campaign and also they're doing a cosplay competition. That's why we have a lot of Mobile Legends cosplayer. And the rest is like let's see if we can use Genshin Impact as the example. Genshin Impact is a quite hype game. That's why when the game is hype, all of the cosplayer won't try to join the hype. They will do the cosplay thing as well. They will try to make the cosplay thing. And the brand appreciate them by giving them the 3D design. That's why all the cosplayer been able to recreate their costume to because they have the design, they have the 3D design. The brand gives them, they share it, and the cosplayer can make it. And they not banning the cosplayer. Like we know some of the brand is banning the cosplayer. Like you cannot do cosplay of one of our character. It's not allowed. It's against the copyright and the rest of the thing. But Genshin Impact appreciate them. Oh yes, you can do as much as you can. Please do cosplay. That's why they also giving the 3D design as well, so all the cosplayer can be able to recreate the costume. And when they post it on the Instagram or their social media, the brand is reposting it. That's why they feel being appreciated. That's why they will try to do their best to appreciate the brand back.
Okay, so if I can take a conclusion, so the most important thing to do for them to actually have the feelings of self-belonging is to make them feel appreciated, right? So once they feel appreciated, then they will do whatever it is in order to grow the community itself. Am I correct to say that? What do you think, Kenneth? Do you do the same thing, or maybe you have different angle for that?
I actually agree to Drew, but I would just like to add some pointers. Like, yes, also especially to the competitive side. If they want to jump into another game, for example, MLBB, and they were to jump into, like, for example, like another MOBA game, of course, they want to feel like they're welcomed, especially if they want to try out new things. They want to explore new types of competitions. They want to have, the sense of belonging. But of course, there's still, I mean, not a lot, but there's still cases of gatekeeping. And we don't really tolerate gatekeeping. Yeah, Drew laughed because he knows. So yeah, that's the word that Drew is looking for, gatekeeping. Gatekeeping is really not a good idea, especially in any community. Even gaming, even cosplay. For example, like I cosplayed like Honkai Impact, and then I jump into Genshin Impact because I have like a new game, I have a new cosplay in mind, and then like people in Genshin Impact, no, you stay there in that game. So that's gatekeeping. So we highly discourage gatekeeping, and we encourage people to learn and to explore more. Not only in cosplay, not only in gaming, not only in the spirit of competition, but in general.
Much agree.
Okay, that's a very, very good answer. So yeah, I do believe that I really hope that the esports and also gaming community is gonna, grow even bigger and also going to be more supportive, because I think it is very important for us as a part of the ecosystem to support each other, right? And not putting anyone else down. So I am going to ask the last question about the gender in the community. So I understand in cosplay community, both gender are also doing the same thing, right? I mean, like cosplaying as the character, but there's actually still an image of when the guy cosplaying, it feels that because they're putting on makeup, right? And it's not something that a guy should do, right? Like people in general will think that it's not a good thing, like they will think bad about that, right? But of course, you want to educate the people to not thinking that way, right? But what do you think about the gender equality or equity when it comes to the cosplay community? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think in cosplay community, gender equality is we are doing it quite often. Yeah, we are supporting the gender equality so much. Like for example, like we see a lot of girls cosplayer doing the armor stuff. So they're wearing a heavy armor. They're trying to show that they can be a robot, a Gundam, or maybe they're using a lot of heavy weapon as well. They're trying to do the action battle. And also we have guys who doing the dancing performance, like a lot of dancing performance in the cosplay. They're able to change their clothes as well in the stage, and that's quite unique. Because for us, cosplay is like a theater, like a theatrical act. That's why if we are doing makeup, I know some of them might think like, what this guy doing? Why he putting a makeup? But we are encouraging them that it's okay. You are trying to represent the character as good as you can. You're doing a face painting. It's a good job. Like not all of the guys can do that, and not all of the girls can able to use a heavy costume, and it's okay. And yeah, we don't think that cosplay is limited only for boys only, or maybe for girls only. No, we are supporting the gender equality as much as we can, as long in a positive way.
Okay, so yeah, in cosplay it's actually the other way around, right? Because cosplay is actually dominated by female. Like, how many male cosplayer can you find in the cosplay community? Very little, right?
The famous one is little, but there's a lot of
Yeah,
male
yeah.
and female as well. But the famous one, I think, most of them are females. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's the other way around when it comes to gaming, right? When it comes to gaming or esports, more guys is at the top level. The tier 1 players are mostly guys, right? But in
Yes.
cosplay community, the top tier cosplayers are female. Okay, but it's really good that you keep encouraging them, right? Encouraging the male that, oh, it's okay to dress up, it's okay to put on makeup, right?
Sometimes there's a difference. Like the female one usually taking the fame road. We call them the fame road. So they're not doing the competition. Like if we call in esports, like they're an athlete, there's an influencer. Yeah, like the female one usually take the influencer road. And for the guy, they're usually taking the competition road. Like, for example, Naru. Naru is known as the one of the top tier cosplayer, but not in doing what good looking guy things. He's doing a very, very high quality costume, like from the top until the bottom. You can see that the quality of the production is very, very high quality. And also they're doing the achievement in cosplay competition, like a very, very high level competition. They're joining and they're able to win it. But for the girls, maybe they try to gain as fame as much as they can. They try to be the representative of one of the brand, or they become the brand ambassador, or they try to doing some photo shoot a lot and try to sell their pictures, or maybe try to sell their merchandise. Yeah, they can go that way. So there's a little difference on it, but the level is, I think, it's quite the same, like the athlete one and also the fame road one.
Okay, so interesting. How about you, Kenneth? Because, like I was saying before, that for esports and also gaming, it's the other way around. So, how do you try to break the gender inequality in your community?
Again, it's the other way around. So esports, particularly in professional leagues, is dominated by males. I mean, for us, of course, in our company, I know some friends, some organization, also UniPin is doing something with this. We call it the women empowerment. So we empower women. We empower them to do the same as the men in terms of esports, especially if they're running for like an all female team or joining a male team, as long as they step up in the competition. Because I see most of the female players they really want to join the tournament. Of course, they just scared of course, being like being faced with the male team who is really good. Of course, there's still some doubts, but of course, we encourage them to try, and of course, we encourage them on follow their dreams, especially if they have a professional esports career dream. We support them as much as we can. We encourage them to join more tournaments. We encourage them to believe in themselves. And of course, if they want to go for all female team, that would be, of course, that would be big, especially if they want to boost their self-esteem. If they want to take it to the next level, they might need to join a team that is consisting of males. Of course, proving your point. Like I'm a female, but I can step up to the plate same as the males. So again, it's the other way around as the cosplay community. Cosplay community is again dominated by females who's again most of the characters, of course, are being inspired by anime, female anime characters, female video game characters. Other way around the esports, we encourage the female community to step up, to face their dreams, and of course, being an esports athlete in their own rights.
I don't think we can hear you, Debora.
Yeah, Debora.
Sorry.
Do you need my hammer so I can...
We all hear it on the way.
Yeah, the girl is on the way.
Oh my god, yeah. So I was saying that I don't think it's gonna be easy task, right, Kenneth?
Yes.
I think-
Nothing is really easy, especially if you're starting new or starting a new journey. But of course, journey is a journey, you know? You start fresh, you end experienced. And then a new journey will open. You will start experience, and you will end that journey as you are already teaching others on what you experience in that journey.
Okay, so it's gonna be a long journey. It's gonna be very challenging, but Kenneth is trying his best to fight the gender inequality, because I believe that what you see is not the gender, right? But it's the person.
Yes.
It's how capable they are as a person, not because of the gender. I really hope that everyone is starting to do that as well, not to look everyone by the gender, but also because of their capability. And for the cosplay communities, I think I can see that there are starting to be lots of male cosplayer, right? But no one is as famous as the female. But I think there is one male cosplay. Is it a female or male? The one
Which
that
one?
came to Tower of Fantasy event.
Hakem?
But I heard it's a female. Is it?
Yeah, so actually Haken is representing herself as a boy character, I think. Yeah. When she do a cosplay, usually she's using a male character cosplay character that she want to represent, because I think that's what her branding is.
Okay, so it means that she's a woman, right? So who's the most famous male cosplayer?
Oh, we have male. I think we can go with Naitero. Naitero is one of the quite famous male cosplayer as well. Like we have also Hana Pauze, like two guy, Hana and Pauze, like he's quite famous as well. And in Malaysia we have Preston Lee, I think. And we have in Philippines maybe Liwi. I don't know if either cannot know who.
Yeah, for male, Louis, we also have Prince.
Yeah.
That is a very famous. Prince is my good friend. So
Yeah.
I know many people in the cosplay community here in the Philippines. I'm not a cosplayer, but I just know them. So I
Because
just have some
their fame,
props.
their fame is quite different. Yeah, like Naitero. He's very famous doing a very great costume as well. Like
Yes.
if you watch Gatot Kaca, our Gatot Kaca, recent movie.
Yeah, I know.
He's the one who make the costume.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he have some materials that in Indonesia is very hard to find. The fabric is quite unique, and also it mix between the 3D print and also the fabric. So it's like if you able to see the close up, it's very like the Superman fabric that Superman used in his movie. So we know Naitero because Naitero is very good at costume making. So the fame is different than the female one. Like maybe the female one is fame because of her arts, of her performance, or of her cosplay, of her beauty, and the rest. But for like Naitero, Naru, maybe they are famous in the costume making and also for the awards and the achievement.
Okay, so I think the I mean, like when it comes to costume maker, then the male actually, even though like when we are talking about costume maker, mostly are female, right? I mean, like mostly are females doing it, but when it comes to doing some details, they also have a very different touch than the female, and actually can also making it really great, right?
The funny thing is, most of the costume maker, is usually a guy, a male.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, and the female is usually tend to buy the costume and wear it. Yeah,
Okay.
most of the maker is male.
I
Usually.
actually agree. I have some male crafters and some female cosplayer just commissioned them to recreate their planned cosplay, especially the ones who is like machine heavy, like for example like a machine 2B, like again Mikasa's weapon from Attack on Titan, they commission it. Or if they want to go to entirely different level, they will do like Gundams or whatever. But yeah, most male crafters are really the one that's making the community, cosplay community, be successful. Because of course, crafters in general. I mean, actually, I appreciate crafters. Like, there's different kind of crafters. Of course, crafters that really focuses on like clothes, like costumes, and there's like for big ones like mechs, like it's already a big props. But again, big props to them, of course. Like without them, of course, the community might have a struggle.
Yeah. Nobody is producing the costume, and there no cosplayer can able to wear the costume itself.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, that's also the last question for you both, because we already sitting here for 1.5 hours, and it was a really great conversation. So, before we close this session, I would love to give the opportunity and the time for both of you to do the closing statement. Maybe Drew, you can start first if you have some message for the community or for everyone who's actually watching it.
Okay, sure. So if you guys interested in cosplay thing, you can join us as well. You can follow the Elite Cosplay Club at our Instagram as well. And the most important thing is, if you want to enter the cosplay community, be respectful towards the character and try to represent the character as good as you can. There you go.
Okay. So guys, listen to that. So if you guys want to join the cosplay community, it's very easy. You know, the right person. The cosplay community who's actually focusing on bringing the positivity in all of the members, right, Drew? Okay, so Kenneth, closing statement from you.
For me, of course, when it comes to the competitive scene or the esports scene on tournaments, don't be scared. If you want to try, just do it. There's nothing to be afraid of. If you want to try at least like a game that you want to be good at, I mean, not all the time you will hit struck gold, you will struck like a 40 clover. Still a long path, a long journey. Like, of course, if you're male or female, doesn't really matter. As long as you grind, you learn, you adapt, and of course, eventually you will get to the place that you wanted to be inside the esports or the competitive scene. Of course, the ones that we talked about earlier, if there's new in the community, don't hinder them on joining. Don't discourage them. Of course, again, gatekeeping is really discourage gatekeeping in any terms, even in other communities. If you want to prosper in your own path in competitiveness, just grind and of course learn whatever you need to learn. But again, don't discourage others. Don't do what others want you to do, like something like that. So if you don't want to be disrespected, if you don't want to be disheartened, don't do it to others. So grind. Of course, here at Community Gaming, we also have tournaments open. So if you want to join the tournaments, just that's a proper starting point for you to learn and adapt. We have a lot of tournaments. We have a lot of esports competition. So that's a right step for you to learn. Of course, here at SEACA, I think SEACA also have like a pro scene, but of course they will organize some community level tournaments. So if you're interested, of course, do join the tournaments, as that will be your stepping stone if you want to really be a professional. Of course, don't hold back any longer. If today is the right time, because again, there's no other right time than today. That's it for me.
Okay, thank you so much, Kenneth. So if you guys want to join an esports gaming community, you can maybe you can share the details of the community gaming.
Just go to communitygaming.io. The website is communitygaming.io. So we have a lot of tournaments in the website, from typical esports titles to like metaverse titles. But of course, you can sort it by country. If you're in Indonesia, you can search tournaments in Indonesia. We have a lot like running right now by our tournament organizers. If there's Philippines, of course, we have tournaments for Philippines. For entire Southeast Asia, we also have it. We also have internal events that we run. So make sure to check that out in the website. And of course, maybe we can work something with UniPin to run tournaments in Indonesia.
Sure, let's do some collaborations. Okay, so guys, that's Pikachu over there. Okay, so Drew got the Pikachu and Kenneth got the hammer. Okay, yes. So guys, thank you so much, Drew, for your time. Also, Kenneth, thank you so much for your time. And so that's also the end of this session. So thank you so much, everyone who's actually listening to us, and we really hope that we can inspire you to create a better community. Okay, so thank you so much, and see you in another session. Goodbye.
Bye.
OSIM.
Kerja keras tanpa libur demi dapat uang lembur. Banyak dikit tetap nabung, bunga tinggi cair harian, pakai neobank buat semua.
Urus anak, tugas banyak, tagihan rumah juga banyak. Beli ini bayar itu, semuanya jadi satu, pakai neobank buat semua.
Dagang offline, dagang online, kekayaan terbang pakai neobeng buat semua. Mau ini mau itu semuanya jadi satu pakai neobeng buat semua.
New skin ready.
Warga plus 62 emang banyak maunya. Dari drakoran sampai banjir air mata. Nonton action yang mantul. Sampai nonton tendangan cantik. Maksudnya ini. Mau nonton apapun, semua ada di video. Mulai dari yang bikin berbunga-bunga, keringet dingin, ketawa, sampai bikin gak ngedip. Jadi nonton apa sekarang?